EGM Network.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Cottage Conversations with Mary Lou Ciambriello. I am Mary Lou Ciambriello, a realtor here in Indian River County with Crown Realty, and I specialize in single-family homes. Today, we have a really important and informative podcast. It's about insurance. Insurance is a really tough subject. None of us like to talk about it. But today, we're going to learn a little bit more about real-life facts about having a home here in Florida and insuring it. But before I do that, I like to do a shout-out. And this shout-out today is to Charlotte Bolton. We're going to be doing two shout-outs. This year, D.R. Horton distributed to all of the agencies here in Indian River County a gingerbread home, and they issued a challenge for us to design the best home, and our winner was Charlotte Bolton. And if you look over there, and we're so proud of her.
Yay, Charlotte.
We're trying to get Charlotte on the show. Charlotte, this is an invitation to the show, okay, if you're paying attention. But Charlotte won, and there's a photo over here of her prize of award-winning gingerbread house. Now, thanks to Charlotte, we had lunch yesterday by D.R. Horton, those of us that could make it. I was at a closing. But let's get going with our introductions, and I also want to talk a little bit about, I just mentioned today, Jennifer and I are going to Investors Title right after this because it is Valentine's Day weekend, and Investors Title is holding a little party for us realtors where we can go and make our own bouquet or give it for ourselves, or to give it to somebody else. Don't give it to me, Jennifer. I know you're. I know that's what you're thinking. I'm pretty good with flowers. I think we'll find out. And this is thanks to Joanne Webster, who invited us there today. So if you're a realtor and you're listening, please head on over there. I think it starts at. Read what time it starts, Jennifer. I can't see it.
Let me see. 11 to 2.
11 to 2, and it's over on Cardinal Drive.
Until the flowers are gone.
Or until the flowers are gone. So get there early. Okay, but now that we've done that, and again, Charlotte, you've been invited, okay? Now that we've done that, I want to get down to some really important business, and that's home insurance. It's always a big question when we're selling homes, right, Jennifer?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to have our guests introduce themselves. We're going to start first with you, Joe.
Good morning. My name's Joe Chiarella, and I'm the owner of Sihle Insurance Group of Vero Beach.
And tell us something exciting about you, Joe, that we may not know. Something where I maybe can give you a manila envelope at Christmas and collect some money.
Not a lot of exciting things about me, but I love to teach. I love to educate. I actually put together a university in spare time for people in my industry who are new to kind of learn the business.
That's wonderful.
Yep,
That's really great.
Kind of do it as a give back, labor of love thing, and I enjoy it. I really do enjoy that.
That really is great. I love my teachers. That's another podcast we're doing, I think, next month. And okay, introduce yourself, Heavan.
Good morning. I am Heavan Demarie, and I am on the tail end of a cold, so my voice is a little running away from me. But
something interesting about you, Heavan, other than the cold.
Okay,
We're concerned about your medical issues, but we want to know more about
Yes, I won't give you my medical history. So I'm looking at this house, and it actually reminds me of something that I thoroughly enjoy, and that is building little miniature homes. It's something I do in my spare time. It's like therapeutic, and I do all of this with like tweezers. So It's about those same size.
So Charlotte was lucky that you were not a realtor invited to this contest.
She is. She really is.
She was lucky. Okay.
She would have had a run for her money.
She would have had a run for her money. Did you hear that, Charlotte? Well, pay attention, Charlotte, because I want you on the show. Okay, and Jennifer, please say something about yourself.
I'm Jennifer Artiega, work for Remax Crown, and just ready for a good year. The market looks like it's going to pick up, and just want to hear about the insurance
and learn about the insurance. I know nothing about insurance. One nice thing about being a realtor is that you go to the experts. You don't guess. We don't second guess. We go to the experts. And we're going to talk about some real life information here. So my first question to you is, what's the one big thing people don't consider when they're purchasing real estate? Lower prices is it smart to always get a lower price? I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, so I think that we see a lot of like sticker shock from people buying their first time homes or people moving in from out of state. So we live in Florida. It's not always sunshine and rainbows. One of the biggest things that contribute to that higher rate is going to be environmental factors. So the storms. When you look at quotes side by side, you can do an X wind, meaning no hurricane coverage. And this is fairly affordable. When you tack on that hurricane coverage, you're looking at a lot more rate, right? You're talking thousands of dollars, sometimes extra. So if you're moving in out of state or you're a first-time home buyer, a big factor is going to be those storms.
And they need to educate themselves. They need to educate themselves so they're comfortable with the decision. Joe, how do you handle those objections when they look at at the price? I mean, I can tell you, I wanted to throw my body under a train when I got my last insurance quote.
You know, the pain points have been insurance premiums for the last couple of years, and that there's no secret about that. It's well publicized. Everybody's had the sticker shock renewals, and they know when they open that envelope and they see the premium, the first thing they want to do is react to it. I think the biggest takeaway from all this is number one, to give informed, good information about the policy terms and why the premiums are what they are. And then secondly, give them claim examples, the things that I've personally seen over the years. I've been doing this for about 25 years, and we've gone through total loss claims, and we've helped people recover and relied on the coverages and the policies to do that.
It's got to be devastating. It's got to be devastating when you lose everything.
Yeah, most recently, the tornadoes, when they came through, we had a few condo associations that the roof completely ripped off. And
I was there for the cleanup.
Yeah, and so, when you're standing there and the event happens and everybody's kind of looking at you with, are we going to be okay? I mean, the reaction is, if you do it right, yes. But unfortunately, in a hard market, when prices go up, people do tend to, try to cut costs any way they can. And it becomes more of a commodity versus a protection plan. And they really try to just, low rate the insurance and try to price shop it. And, to go a step further, there's a lot of bad actors in our industry who are price focused and sell based on price to try to get the commission rates. So
exactly.
So we got to be careful about, really putting that line between lowest bid and protection and coverage, which is really what this is supposed to be.
And you made a very good point. It's not about price, it's about coverage.
Yes.
Very, very, very important. Okay, I'm going to put on my glasses now. I have to wear glasses now, people. I'm sorry. Jennifer likes wearing
glasses.
them. Julia, they were a gift from my daughter. Okay.
Beautiful.
What's the one thing that most surprise homeowners that they don't cover that you recommend that they do cover?
I would say flood insurance. A lot of people automatically assume that the hurricane coverage covers things like flood, and it does not. So when we think of flood, it's rising water, right?
It's not coming from above, it's coming from below. Yeah.
So again, I see this a lot with first-time home buyers when I always offer flood, which is something I'm in the habit of doing, is just providing a flood quote.
Well, we always suggest they get it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We know nothing about insurance, but we do suggest that.
Yeah, you definitely should consider it. It is not covered in your regular homeowner's policy, even under the hurricane insurance coverage. It is something separate.
And let's talk about pool owners, and then I'm going to talk about pets as well, because that's another pet peeve of mine. So what do pool owners, people that have homes that have pools, what should they really be considering, Joe? What should they be thinking about?
Oh, number one, big is liability. Liability for the pool, because you've got children, you have to have protections on the pool to keep kids from falling into it and getting hurt. Also, the screen protection, the screen enclosure, is that protected on the policy too? Sometimes it gets slipped off on the quote and they don't realize it's not there.
Is that separate coverage?
In a lot of cases, it can be. Yes, it can be. Now, just full transparency, Heavan is our personal lines lead, and I do mostly commercial lines. So I'm going to defer to her on some of the technical stuff for personal lines. But I can tell you that liability is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Liability. And what do you say to that?
Liability is definitely the first thing that comes to mind. Pools in the insurance world are considered an attractive nuisance, right? So
An attractive nuisance.
In
our business, they're considered attractive.
Yes.
Totally different.
Yes.
They're considered very
attractive,
desirable.
period.
Okay. Is that not true?
Yes.
Very. We want them.
We do
I
want
miss
them.
my pool, by the way.
I want a pool.
Little kids are drawn to them, and God forbid something happens, or worse, they drowned, and you're held liable for that. So $100,000 in liability coverage is not going to help you.
Right.
Yeah.
$300,000, $500,000 still. So I always suggest, if you have a pool, really consider maybe an umbrella policy for that extended or excess liability coverage.
Now, Jennifer likes to talk about hurricanes, but we're not going there yet. We're going to talk about Jennifer's. I'm a dog owner and a pet lover as well. But Jennifer she takes her dog to the beach every morning.
Every morning for sunrise.
Okay.
My Doberman.
So let's talk about pets that are not covered or that you need to understand. We have a problem as agents. One of the problems we have with pets is that people don't understand our policies when it goes into homeowners associations. There's sizes and regulations, but more importantly, there are insurance regulations. So, Joe, that question's for you. You want to, or do you want to?
I actually have a horror story I can share.
Okay, go ahead. Then share your horror story.
So, do you mind?
No, please go ahead.
So, when it comes to animals, we always ask, do you have animals? And there are specific breeds that are considered high risk.
Yeah.
Pit bulls, German shepherds, Rottweilers. And a lot of times everybody thinks that their animals are harmless, right? I always ask, do you need animal liability? No, my animal has never bitten anyone. He's a perfect angel. That is just not true. And I know somebody personally who had one of these high risk animals. And if you would ask that person a year ago if that animal had ever or would ever bite anyone, they would have said no. The animal was raised around children, was kept well taken care of, disciplined well. But that animal got loose one day and he chased a child down the street on his bike and he bit that child severely.
Yeah.
And when the owner tried to control the situation, that dog turned on the owner. And
That's
so now,
interesting.
You have
very interesting.
two people in the hospital, one getting stitches, one that ended up with a horrible blood infection from the bite. And the truth is that owner was liable for those medical bills, for the trauma that child experienced, and they did not have animal liability. A lot of times it's excluded when you go through the coverages. A lot of times when I go through these policies, I see animal exclusion liability or animal liability exclusion.
That's very interesting. I will tell you just a brief story. Our son was mauled by two German shepherds when he was 7, and they both dogs were known attackers, and we went through a lawsuit. It was quite disgusting. But the other thing is that I feel bad about that. I'm really
it's just a reminder that these things can happen.
So what you're saying is that you really have to come in prepared to if you have a pool, if you have a pet, you really need to be prepared, and you need to insure yourself.
Yeah.
And we say this. We did a podcast on pets. Okay, and Jennifer and I are both pet lovers, but when people own pets, just like you said, they think they're wonderful. They're part of the family. But when you go and show a home, we always say, please put your pet away because they're strangers coming through their home, and we warn buyers not to go next to them because it's their home. I don't care how much dogs love you or cats love you. Stay away from it.
Yes.
It's not. This is their jurisdiction, and they don't know you.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope those people will do well. So what triggers a premium increase other than people making claims?
Well, there's a couple things. Underwriting, how the building ages and gets older, that becomes higher risk. So we talk about mitigation factors and 4-point inspections and everything when people want to get quotes for their homes. A lot of those documents really identify those features. And when you get new windows, upgraded roof for your house, all those things are...
Thanks to insurance, I have both of those.
Yes. Yeah. Well, those are reflected on those forms, and that actually turns into a mitigation or a reduction factor
and
on your price.
And a hot water heater.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And a water
all those things are great.
Yeah.
It's funny. A lot of people will call and they'll ask for a homeowner's quote, and they'll say, I haven't done a wind mitigation in 5 years, but I got my roof done last year. Why do I have to do this mitigation report again? And it's because we're trying to certify the new roof as something that can get you credits on your policy. Right. So it is an extra step, but it is something that's beneficial. So you save a little to gain more in reductions.
Well, you bring up a point because I'm always confused. Which one, how long does a wind mitt last and how long does a
That's a good question.
That's a very good
last?
question.
I'm always confused. One is good for 5 years, but I never remember which one.
Yes, and you might want to answer that.
So the wind mitigation is typically good for 3 years.
Oh, 3.
Some carriers will accept a 5-year limit.
Okay.
The 4-point, however, is good for about a year.
Yeah.
So the wind mitigation is something you definitely want to get if you are putting on a new roof or hurricane impact windows. And the savings can be significant you can save anywhere from $500 to $2,000 every year on those reports. So if you're getting new windows, new roofs, definitely get that inspection scheduled too.
Yeah, I've done.
That's smart.
Can I go back to a question you had asked before?
Sure.
Some of the things you had mentioned about people that don't know what is and what isn't covered on some of their
That's
insurance.
so big.
It is.
The dog thing really is a
It
big
is.
thing.
And kind of shifting gears to the commercial side, because that's mostly what I deal with. The condo associations, even though it's a residential condominium association, those are considered commercial lines accounts. Unit owners versus the association. Each are completely independently different. And Heavan would come in and do the unit policies. I would write the association, and they're supposed to intersect. The problem that you have is that the unit owner goes off and buys insurance from one agent. The association goes to another agent. They don't talk to each other.
There's no
There's differences in what the unit owner expects to be covered and what's not. I've seen unit owners assume that their unit policy covers the shell or structure of their unit, and it does not. So there's some things there that have to really have some conversation. And when I do renewals with condo associations, I actually offer that and say, we'd love to do a assessment of your unit policies to make sure that they align with what the expectations are and how the association covers
That's a good general
properties.
meeting, too. I mean, because I know you
is.
like to educate people, so that would be a great general meeting to have an insurance company come in and speak about coverage. I
Right.
just sold a condo, and they needed, I think they were getting a wind mitigation, and it was a condo on the first floor. And I honestly didn't know that there was such a thing.
There is, right?
Yeah.
Because each unit owner is doing upgrades to their own unit, putting those windows in that maybe the other unit doesn't have. So yeah, you still can get a wind mitigation, but the master policy covers things like the roof. But we still want to know
Their roof was not covered. Because they had a little extension they built out, so their roof was not covered. So we had to go to the main policy.
Yes.
And it was a really easy sale. I did it with Tim Bolton. It was a really, really easy transaction. But I walked away. But that's one of the things we do, Jennifer, in this business is every day we learn something. And I
Absolutely.
learned,
I love learning.
they get wind mid on a condo. And
To make it really complicated, when you have a water damage claim on a second story, and it goes between the buildings and the units, and everybody's affected, and how many policies and adjusters respond to it. So you really want to hope that everybody's got their part and pieces in the right space.
And the pet thing. So here's what I'm going to say. Most people, a lot of people have pools, but more people have pets.
Yes.
So that's, more people have pets. I think 63% of America, or maybe greater than that.
Yeah.
So I think that pet rider is an extremely big deal. I'm going to have to think. I don't have a pet. I am feeding a feral cat currently, but for 3 years now. But she now lives in the patio. If any of you care. But
she's fed and she's coming back.
when you're going through a policy and doing a review, it's so important to look at the coverages you have. But a lot of things people overlook is actually paying attention to those exclusions. And a lot of times that's where you'll find things like animal liability exclusion.
Now, can they run that policy through like Chat GPT? Because I would take it, and I really mean that, and I would upload it and I would run it through Chat to see if I was eliminated. I lost a sale recently for bed bugs, and I know it was a really nice sale too. It was in the 800s, and we went and did our home inspection. I didn't tell you this story.
No.
Oh God! But anyway, long story short, I thought they were ladybugs. They were bed bugs. And I found out the exterminator had to look them up. She'd never seen them either. She said, these are bed bugs, a huge infestation.
Oh my gosh.
And
That's
I wanted that policy of the warranty so I could run it through Chat GPT because the agent told me it was good for, they guaranteed getting rid of them, but any of my research promised me something else. So can they run their policy? That's the question I was saying. I wonder if Chat GPT would be able to tell them what their exclusions are.
I would say yes, you could start there, but I would always
go to a professional.
Follow up with your agent or your broker, and you have to remember that at the end of the day, it's the underwriters that have the last say so. So even if you interpret something a certain way, Your agent might interpret it a different way. Underwriting has the final say-so on how that coverage is applied.
So they would need to go to an agent.
Yeah, you definitely want to do your due diligence. So yes, start with chat. That might help you have a conversation
Ask a question.
Yeah. But definitely follow up with your agent.
That's wonderful.
Heavan makes a good point too, because, in today's world, especially and I don't want to overspeak about real estate, but obviously everybody's got, when you're closing a home, you've got so many things kind of happening at once, right? And usually the last thing in the process is we got to get insurance. So then we go towards closing. She makes a great point, is that, we need to kind of slow down, I think, collectively in the process of getting homeowners insurance because of what it is. What does it do? What does it cover? I know it's expensive, but how do we mitigate that? And then just really understand on the front end, because you don't want to find out after the claim that something was missed.
Yeah.
Right. And so we try to really just kind of slow that down and just say, okay, let's just discuss this. So if an agent is selling price, or if they're just getting some information on an email and shooting out a quote, but they're not explaining the terms of the coverage, then find a new agent, because that's where the communication factor is key.
That's actually the first assignment for me. I know that's the first assignment for you is insurance.
Details too. I mean, everyone works differently.
Yeah,
because
it makes or breaks sometimes a transaction. So that's the very first assignment I give them and our transaction coordinators give them a list of insurance companies to talk to. But I think we need to add the pool thing on there and the
pets.
And the pets, because most everyone has a pet,
Oh, yeah.
That's big. That's really big. Now, let me take a look at my list here and see what we've got. We know that we all need to have a newer roof. And let's talk about vacant homes.
Okay.
Because we do have that. We do sell vacant homes. Should they be insured? Do they need to notify their insurance company that the home is vacant?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So this is actually super important. If a home is vacant for more than 30 days, the policy needs to be rewritten as a vacant home. So it's one thing if you're a homeowner who leaves for 6 months out of the time, a snowbird. And it's another thing if you decide to just up and leave and the home is vacant for more than 30 days. So it needs to be completely rewritten as a vacant property. And there's a lot more, rate can be a little more expensive.
I would think it would be.
Yes. Because somebody's not there checking and monitoring things 24/7.
I check my vacant homes every day, every single day.
Yes. So it is important, one, that if the home is vacant for more than 30 days, that you let the agent or broker know. It's likely going to have to be rewritten as a vacant home policy. And what happens if you don't do that and something happens to the home, an adjuster comes in, realizes that it's vacant, they can deny coverage completely. So it's very important to let your carrier know.
I'm glad I asked that question.
The updates on properties, is what it is.
Let's talk about updates too. That was really good. Okay, or do you want to speak about hurricanes? Because I know that's your favorite
topic.
Well, I decided not to speak about hurricanes today because we're on the subject.
Well, that's wrong. So go ahead. You could ask about I think I wrote it down. There you go. It says your name on there too. Because we actually did a podcast on August 14th with Ryan Lowell on hurricane preparedness. So, if you need to get ready for a hurricane, you can go back and look at our YouTube channel for that. But Jennifer wants to ask questions about
the hurricane.
Let's hear it.
So as far as coverage, and what should you do to prep for the hurricane?
So I love this question because we always think about the what do we do, right? We stock water and food and do all these things. One of the biggest things I think that gets overlooked is an insurance review. So as we head into season, be pulling your policy out, call your agent up and go through every bit of that policy together. What are your coverage limits? Has anything changed? Have you acquired new personal property that's not accounted for? Have you added updates to the home that aren't accounted for? Do inventory of the home. So last season, I did a quick video of the outside of my home as well as the inside. And then I took inventory of all my personal property because you'd be surprised how quickly that stuff adds up.
It's not difficult because we can do it with our phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not difficult.
Just walk through the phone.
So
any little change we make we should be reviewing.
Yes, and also ask your agent, like, what are my responsibilities in the event of a loss?
Okay.
What do I need to do to make sure that I don't make things worse, that my agent the claims adjuster isn't going to come back and say, well, you didn't do X, Y, Z, and so now you're liable for this damage. So your responsibilities in the event of a loss are super important to know. Just the review in general are two of the main things that I would suggest.
Jen,
Okay.
I'm so sorry, and it went really, 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 really quickly, and we have to wrap up. But for right here and now, everyone, I think that you should really pay attention to this podcast. It wasn't long enough, it wasn't informative enough, but the information you got was really important. So please call your agent. And if you need an agent, we've got two right here that you can give a call to. And if
Always
you want
happy
to
to
sell your
help.
home, you can call Jennifer or me. Okay, you have the best day ever. Ciao for now. Till next time.
Adios for now.
Ciao.
Thank you.
That went
Thank
by
you.
so quick.
I told you, and how hard was it?